On today's show, we talk Super Bowl, Lions, Pistons trade deadline, Michigan State football chaos. We got blocked on Twitter. We'll tell you by who. And music from Lamar.
The only thing that's different is Martin Lawrence's face is fatter. Hold up, Mike. I gotta catch my breath, Mike. I do like chicken sandwiches. Well, who else would you have on the cover of Playboy these days, right? See if you can polish this term. I'm trying to be positive here, Jake. Jake is also available for anniversaries and birthday parties.
I thought you were gonna tell me treat him like cats and sprayed him with a water bottle.
No.
Not enough money behind this podcast to get him on here.
Because it's not the kids' fault they're shitheads. It's not. It's the parents' fault. The parents are shitheads too.
Dude, why are you talking shit? Have you won anything? No,
Because-
then shut the fuck up.
Wait, nobody ever said there was a plot to Rambo.
Delete your account, go back to bed, cry for a couple of days, and reflect on what you're actually going to do with your life.
Welcome everyone to the ADG podcast. We are back.
Yes.
Back.
Hell yeah.
Jake is back.
Darren's
I'm
back.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are back. If you haven't seen our nice little video that we posted announcing that season 3 is here, welcome back to the ADG podcast. I'm Darren.
And I'm Jacob.
And it's great to be back. We have a lot to get into, Jake.
That's right. Darren, don't we come back like the best time ever? Like some dumb shit happens.
It's perfect how everything just works out the way that we come into our season premiere. And what a way to kick off season premiere. With some breaking news as we are recording this podcast on the sports front. Michigan State football. Yes, Michigan State football. I know their season's over, but the news does not stop for Michigan State. They have just made an announcement that Mark D'Antonio, their longtime winningest coach in their program's history, all of a sudden just announces his resignation as head football coach.
That's right. Doesn't retire.
No.
He just resigns from the position.
Yeah. Which
Weird
is
shit.
if you listen to Valenti on 97.1, he was not happy, especially him being a big time Spartan fan. He went there, so this definitely irks a lot of Michigan State fans. Really, it really irks them in the wrong way, where you can't even announce a press conference where you're giving a reason why you're stepping down from your position.
Yeah, you tweet it out like you're
he's a 16-year-old girl.
You don't do that. You
So,
gotta make millions of dollars. Like, don't tweet it out.
Well, and that's a lot of reason because he did pick up if he stayed to this a certain date, he got $4.3 million part of his contract. So why wouldn't you stick around and take that money that's still on that table?
I don't get it.
There's a lot of interesting facts about this announcement that shocked the Michigan State football world, as if Michigan State isn't in enough trouble with all their past legal issues. So there could be something while he's getting out before a big bombshell is about to hit, or he just had enough of it and wants to move on. But it's going to be interesting way of events on what happens next. I saw that Mike Tressel will take on the head coaching duties for now until they can put together a proper search for a replacement for Mark D'Antonio. But yeah, this is a big shocker to Spartan Nation, and it's gonna be an interesting when it comes to recruiting and all these commitments that did commit to Michigan State, thinking that Coach D'Antonio was going to be there. So
the second round of commits to colleges happens in 24 hours, right? So everybody who's wanted to commit to State, they can commit somewhere else now if they don't want to deal with any other coach.
Exactly. So this is definitely going to hurt Michigan State's football program very bad. So we'll see what happens in the upcoming weeks to come. And from Michigan State football to their Michigan State basketball program, they are struggling. I've never seen, a Michigan State team that's just been struggling through this regular season, like this year's team has, obviously injuries and players not playing up to their potential, has them, really in the middle. I think the last AP top 25 rankings came out. I believe Michigan State was around the 14th to 16th.
Yeah.
Best team in the country. Yeah. Excuse me. And it's a big thing, especially because tonight. I'm sorry. Let me drink some water because I'm about to lose my voice here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Jake, how about you tell me about those lovely Michigan State Wolverines? Because I know you're a big fan.
Well, no, I'm not worried about the Wolverines. The Wolverines suck. I'll be surprised if they make the tournament at anything higher than a 15, 16 seed in whatever region they're in. But State's I think is a sleeper. They have a few more months to get healthy because I'm not worried about regular season. I'm more worried about the tournament, right? And I'd like to see State, make it to the Final Four again. The Wolverines to make it to the Final Four, but if that's Michigan's not going to happen. They're not that good.
No,
they're really not. They have potential, but they're not going to get there this year.
No,
maybe next year.
Especially with the first-year head coach Juwan Howard.
Exactly.
Thought he was going to bring back all the, the Fab Four style mentality.
Ooh, put up the banners.
Yeah, put up those banners. All right. They're actually like 12th in the Big Ten, which is not good. They're 13-8.
Yeah.
They do play tonight against the Ohio State Buckeyes, which isn't as big as their when they play on the football field. But Ohio State's not that much better. They're 14-7, so it's the 11th ranked team in the Big Ten versus the 12th ranked team in the Big Ten. Right. So even that way matchup is going to be interesting. But yeah, so from Michigan State basketball.
Well, I guess let's do more basketball.
Yeah, let's do more basketball.
And unfortunately, the NBA trade deadline's coming up on February 6th at 3 p.m. Eastern, and my Pistons are dying a slow death.
Yeah,
they're already dead. We're just getting worse.
Jake, you're 18-34. You're 11th in the Eastern Conference.
Hell yeah!
Now, that's great. I think they should have lost last Sunday, but they won in overtime. Why?
Oh God, I don't know.
But interesting story came out. Alert I got on my phone this morning, waking up. There's some high intensity trade rumors involving Luke Kennard. And the Phoenix Suns, which involves some top prospects and a first round pick. I like the idea of the first round pick coming back to Detroit. That's
great. But why aren't we sending away the biggest cancer in the locker room, Andre Drummond? Why? Yeah. Why? I still understand with some of the opportunities in the last 2 seasons to get rid of this guy and stop paying him this much money.
Yeah.
And this team, for some reason, is not able to accept a trade. You're not going to get as much as you think for the guy. He's useless.
Yeah.
He got his doubles on rebounds, whatever else. I don't give a shit. Trade him for a bag of chips, get rid of that money. I really don't give a shit. Derrick Rose, give him to the Lakers for a second rounder. I don't give a fuck. Clean this team up. Get all this shit out. Start with young kids. Let's build this thing up for the next 2 or 3 years. None of this nonsense. Keeping this guy around. As long as Andre Drummond is on this team, you will not win anything.
Right. Well, it's kind of boggling my mind. Like, obviously, next year, all these big contracts are coming off the books. That's why you want to get something for Drummond. Now, I know that there was talks of earlier. He was very high in demand. I believe Atlanta Hawks were talking about him.
Yeah.
And I even hear like rumors potentially Toronto Raptors might be interested in Andre Drummond. Great. Obviously, the Raptors need another big. Obviously, the Raptors need another big body just in case like Marc Gasol goes down and why wouldn't you want to go to Toronto for a chance to win another NBA championship?
Well, right. Well, yeah, exactly. Why not? And when there's an opportunity, you can't be greedy. The Pistons can't be greedy. They're shit.
No, Jake. They should be greedy. They got to get something for him.
Get something. Yeah, but nobody's going to give you a first-round pick for a guy who can't score.
Okay, he can't score, but he can rebound better than anyone.
Well, great. He's not worth a first-round pick. Maybe a couple second-round picks. And a couple bodies, yeah, sure, I'll go. Anything. Clean the. Your salary's insane.
Yeah,
you're in luxury tax.
Yeah,
can't do that.
If anything, I would take him. I would take maybe a second or a third round pick and a couple expiring contracts.
Yeah,
players.
Definitely.
And then,
down with that.
And then you let those at the end of the year. You let them walk. And then you start you just stockpile those draft picks. That's what you have to do if you want to get younger and more talented. Is you want high top end, high quality talent.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's great. But remember, he can opt into his contract for $26 million next year, just because he wants to, and drain this team of more money and drain it of more talent. And this team's going to be shit. You can't have a team in luxury tax and be what did you say, 11th in the East?
Mm-hmm. They're 11th in the East. They're not even the worst team in the East.
I know, but they're still shit. They're garbage.
So the Pistons play next game. They play Wednesday. They're at home against the Phoenix Suns. Will Luke Kennard be a Phoenix Sun? We have to tune in and find out.
But I hope not. It's a nice young talent, but whatever.
I always like Luke Kennard. Everyone that I talk to that knows Pistons, they say Luke Kennard's good, but he's always injured, or he doesn't get enough minutes to play. While you have a guy like Reggie Jackson who's just horrible.
Yep, cancer.
Reggie Jackson. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Eddie.
Yes.
Where there was a player named Stacey Patton. I would always hog the ball and show off his skills. Didn't know how to pass. He just wasn't, a team player. That's what Reggie Jackson reminds me of.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So from the Pistons, Jake, we gotta talk about the big the huge news that happened not about 2 Sundays ago. The death of a legend. The death of pretty much us growing up. He was, because we were little around when Michael Jordan was in his prime.
I watched Jordan.
You watched Jordan, but like people my age, I should say, we grew up watching Kobe Bryant.
I watched.
Passed away tragically with 8 other people in a helicopter crash,
including his daughter,
including his 13-year-old daughter, Gianna. It was shocking. I couldn't believe when I saw it. A friend sent this to me. I saw it. TMZ. This got to be maybe a spoof or something. But no. Then it just wow. 41 years old. A legend like that who accomplished everything in the NBA. Coming straight out of high school into the NBA, 5-time NBA champion. Multiple-time MVP. 3rd in the NBA in scoring all time. It's just unbelievable to have to see that, and to see all these people just heartbroken and in disbelief that this true legend of the game is gone at 41 years old.
Right. No, and it is sad. Now there's 2 points of view to this story, of course, as there always is. And yeah, when you said, because you sent me this story, because I was in editing mode. I was editing our brand new intro at this point.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, and you sent it to me. I was like, no.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, fine, I'll check it out. And I searched. I'm like, well, yeah, this is very sad. It's tragic. It's very tragic. And again, there's 2 parts of this story, because the reactions were 2-sided. You had those people that thought, they were best friends with Kobe and were like, R.I.P. everywhere, Kobe everything.
Right.
And most people never even met Kobe. And this is somebody that 99% of people never met, never talked to, and they're like, it's their best friend.
Yeah.
That was kind of weird for me. And then the other half, and then there's a bunch of people who like, okay, this guy was accused of certain things, and why are we so sad? Why are we bringing up such a good guy when he presumably did these things? We're not gonna really talk too much about it. Did these things in his past and was accused of doing things in his past, and those people on message boards arguing, why are you celebrating this guy? He did so many bad things. He was acquitted. It was never proven, and whatever else. And my opinion is, it's tragic when someone dies. It's tragic when someone who inspired a lot of people dies in such a tragic way, right?
Yep.
It's just, people got to remember, these are humans. They did things. They're human. They make mistakes. And don't be so attached at the same time.
Right. Okay? Yeah. And what really, I think what really made people just really crushed when they heard it is that one of his daughters was with him,
Yes.
So to experience that, not only losing a husband and a father, but losing a daughter and a sister at the same time, your heart breaks when something like that happens. Obviously,
very tragic.
Like you said, he wasn't perfect. There was a lot of skeletons in his closet, just like everyone else's.
Yeah.
But it's just, I think it was more shock than anything else, and so people were trying to cope what happened. Copes what happens, and talking about it either in person or on social media is a way to cope with it. And I think the NBA did a great job with handling it. When the Lakers had their next home game, I thought they, it was nice, it was classy, it was well done to honor not only Kobe but the other ones that passed away in the accident. But yeah, it's truly a loss that you lose someone like that who has changed the game so many ways in his 20-year career. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens come the rest of this NBA season. Obviously there's going to be a lot of pressure on the Lakers, especially to win this year, especially to win for Kobe, right?
Well, that's the push they're going to get. It was nice to see tributes from every team, either wearing the 24. Everybody had a number 24 jersey on, or they took the 8 second and the 24
second.
Foul. So it was nice to see.
Yeah,
it was nice, but that makes sense. It's the NBA. It was one of their top stars of the last couple of decades. It was a name. He did a lot for the game itself. So yeah, that made sense.
Yeah. So that's good.
What was weird, actually? What was weird is seeing that night the Kobe tribute on the Grammys.
I didn't get to see that, but I heard about it. I know.
It was Alicia Keys making a fool out of herself. It was
because it happens that day. You want to be respectful, but obviously, you could have done something like a nice moment of silence, but hey. It's like that everywhere. I believe they did it at a soccer stadium in Italy because Kobe, being a fellow Italian, AC Milan did a nice moment of silence for Kobe Bryant. So it's always good to see how not only just on the basketball court but internationally he was loved for everything he's done. And his mentality and the way he approached the game, the way he approached life, people can take that into their everyday life. Like, how can I be the best me today? Like, how can I, be better than I was yesterday? So.
Yep, and then the video game world will forever be remembered because when you throw a grenade in some of the games I play, like PUBG, you call out Kobe. And
yes,
it's a tribute that we.
I think that always should be I still say Kobe when I throw stuff in the garbage.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. So from that, let's. Obviously, there was a big football game that was played a couple days ago. Yeah, I know. Shocking. Yeah, I know.
It was actually a good game. I liked it.
It was a good game.
I like the Super Bowl. It was good.
It was a good game. Depends on who you were rooting for.
The team I was rooting for won, so I'm okay with that.
There you go. Obviously, the team that I was rooting for was pretending that they were the Detroit Lions. Played good for 3 quarters and
so you're the jinx.
I'm the jinx, I guess. Playing good for 3 quarters and then collapsing in the 4th quarter.
There you go.
Yes. So speaking of the Lions, Jake, they have a pretty high draft pick this year.
Yeah, they're fucking stupid. Now, why am I so aggressive and the season hasn't even started yet?
Oh,
God. Season hasn't started yet. I'm already mad.
You know what? We should really take a pause for the cause from the Lions just to give our mental health a break from everything.
Darren.
You can't. I know you can't.
You know why? Because they have an amazing opportunity that they're going to drop the ball on.
Yeah.
They're going to fumble this fucking opportunity to get a generational player. The latest mock drafts, nobody has them picking the player I want them to pick.
Yes. And for those...
It's so simple. Hold on. It's so simple. Any football fan will tell you how simple it is. From the newbie to the old man in a fucking football Lions mask will tell you it's super fucking simple. Unless you're a special Detroit Lions guy, yay, go team, you will realize that at number 3 in the NFL 2020 draft, you can pick Tua as one of the best quarterbacks available in the last 2 drafts, and you won't do it.
Yeah.
You will not do it.
Obviously, like I saw one today. I forget who did the mock draft. Had Ohio State cornerback Jeff Okudah going to the Lions. Which, hear me out. Don't get me wrong. They need another cornerback to opposite Slay.
Sure.
And Okudah is the best cornerback in the college football.
I don't disagree.
If they took him, I wouldn't be mad because it fills a need. But like, if anything, it doesn't matter for me who they take in the first round, because after last year taking a tight end at 8, I'm like, okay, defense, fine, I'll live with it. Take him. But if you want to go and get a quarterback in the second round, which I guarantee there will be at least 2 or 3 really good quarterbacks left in the second round, I would do that.
Darren, hear me out.
All right.
There is a way you can have both. You can have both, Darren. You can have your guy. You can have Okudah.
Okay.
You can have him at number 5. Would you like to take him at number 5? Because if his team was smart, which they're not, they're only second to the Pistons as being the dumbest team in this city.
Hey, don't say that. No, the Tigers are probably listening to this too.
No, they're clearly rebuilding because they don't have any baseball players on that team. Now, listen,
their best baseball player turns out to be the Super Bowl MVP.
That's right, and that's sad. Now, you have a pick at number 3. You have 2 options. Okay. At number 3, pick the quarterback.
Yeah.
Sit him for a year. Let him learn the schemes. And trade Matthew Stafford next year.
Okay.
Get your first round picks.
Hold on a second here. I'm going to let you finish. But
that's fine.
I just have a feeling that Tua does not want to play for Detroit.
I knew you were going to say that because his parents are dummies and they're talking.
His dad said during Super Bowl week on Media Row, he doesn't want it. He doesn't feel like he has the opportunity to flourish in Detroit. That's probably Tua right now. Flourish in Detroit as well as playing for Miami.
Yeah, that's me calling you to disagree because because the money at number 3 and the money at number 6 or whatever
it would be 5. It would be 5.
5, whatever. Is a little bit different. You might want to get picked in the top 3 if you want that $1 million.
Okay,
millions of dollars.
But like, okay, look, you put out Miami as a team that really wants.
Tua. Yes, they do.
But what about a team like the LA Chargers, who's going to need a quarterback because Phillip Rivers and his 12 kids are moving out of town?
Miami has 2 first-round picks, and I will trade Tua for those 2 first-round picks.
You really think? Do you really think that they're going to give both those picks to the Lions?
Do you want a generational player, a quarterback that will take your franchise? Look what happened to Kansas City. Garbage team, got an awesome quarterback. 2 years, boom, Super Bowl. You just need the pieces.
I do see the pieces, and I'm saying that. So you're saying in Jacob's perfect world, perfect Detroit Lions perfect world, you have
2 scenarios. I have 2 scenarios.
Okay, you have Stafford at quarterback with Tua on the bench learning from Stafford.
Yeah, that's right. And then you can groom the guy who will lead your franchise for the next 5 to 6 years for little money. Right. Trade Stafford for a first-round pick.
Do you really think at Stafford's age and the amount of money that he's going to make that teams are going to give a first-round pick to him?
They're in salary. He's like the 10th or 11th cheapest quarterback in the league now.
He is. Check your numbers on that.
No, check. Look at all the contracts that came after him. He's actually pretty cheap, and there's teams that will pay. There is. Do you think Dak Prescott is better than Matthew Stafford? I don't think so. Look how many teams, like the Chargers. Do you think? Screw the Chargers. The Patriots.
Yeah.
Do you think the Patriots wouldn't take? They would take Matthew Stafford and give you whatever you want for him right now. They don't have a quarterback. Who's your quarterback? I don't know the names of their backups.
Well, I hear that they're willing to offer Tom Brady at least over $30 million to stay.
He's not coming back. No, he's not coming back. If he comes back for a year, then you can still have an option to get Matthew Stafford next year because he's still at a decent age. In the ending career of his prime, he will give you 2 or 3 more years if he's healed and healthy, and you can get the first-round picks from them. Now, with keeping Tua, you get an extra first-round pick next year. You're building for the future. You have an opportunity. Now, if you want to trade the number 3 pick to whoever needs a quarterback, cool. Again, you're going to need a ransom for him. You're going to need Miami's both picks. You're going to need, if you have a team like the Chargers, first round, second round, one of each this year. I'm cool with that, but I need picks. I need lots of picks because that is a good player.
Yeah. So just to go back, I just looked it up, and Matthew Stafford has the 10th highest contract.
10th highest. There's 9 guys ahead of him.
Makes of the years. So he makes $27 million a year.
That's nothing.
And so above him is Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yep.
Jacoby Brissett, Kirk Cousins, Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger, and Russell Wilson.
And right now, Matthew Stafford is at least better than like 2 or 3 of those guys.
He's better than Jimmy Garoppolo.
He's better than Big Ben.
He's better. No, I'm saying that I think he's better than Matt Ryan. I think he's better than Carson Wentz. I think he's better than Jared Goff.
There you go.
So
what are we talking about? They're getting a deal, whoever gets him, because I am willing to trade him.
Yeah.
At that money, that's a discount.
Yeah. Because, and I think one of the wild cards, especially come this offseason, I think this offseason is going to be bananas when it comes to free agent signings and trades and players that you weren't expect to be on the move. Look for a player like Cam Newton to be on the move. I think the writing's on the wall in Carolina.
Oh, he's a backup. I would not trust him to lead a team anymore.
No, but maybe not in Detroit, but maybe a team like Chargers. They might need a quarterback. They do need a quarterback.
They do.
You know, so it's someone like this. Yeah. All that other stuff. So that you never know what's going to happen when it comes to that.
Yeah, no, it's true. But there's lots of options, and if this team fucks it up, I'm going to be very pissed before the season even starts. And you think we are on the Matt Patricia getting fired bandwagon? Oh, I can't wait till they fuck up this draft. I can't wait.
We'll see. That's the whole thing. Like, they're obviously on a very, very short leash. So do you think that they're going to try to save their jobs by playing, safe and conservative, or are they going to draft just enough to get to be in contention in December for a playoff spot?
Well, you know what? They're not going to make the playoffs. They don't have enough talent on this team to do that. And if anything, you need to. The D line is done. O line is sucks. Who's going to protect Stafford?
Yeah.
They don't have enough talent around that guy. You want to save him? You're gonna have to draft an offensive lineman. You can't do that in the third pick in the draft. Well, this team would. They picked a tight end last year, but you can't do that.
No. Obviously not. They can't do it this year. They just signed a former first round pick from San Francisco yesterday.
Yes.
He plays center. Obviously, you're probably going to lose Graham Glasgow,
which sucks because I liked him. I liked him.
I like him too. Which you really need Decker to have a bounce back here
because that shit was terrible.
He's much better than what he's been lately. So they need him, and Rick Wagner is just
for the money they pay him. Yeah,
just garbage.
Yeah.
So obviously there's going to be a lot of moving around, and it's going to be interesting come free agents time, and then as we get closer to the draft, we'll do our best to get our Lions insider Sean Belegian on our program again to give us his draft breakdown.
We're gonna try.
Yeah. So a lot of interesting things going on, but Jake, let's talk about the game that happened on Sunday, Super Bowl 54. In Miami, Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, two teams that have history going way back. The Chiefs haven't been to a Super Bowl in 50 years, and the 49ers looking for their sixth Super Bowl title, which would tie them for the lead with the most Super Bowl victories with the Steelers and Patriots. First off, what'd you think of the game, Jake? Did it live up to the hype?
I think so. Not as high scoring as I thought it was going to be, but it was very intense. If you think about it, it started off a little slow. Yeah. Both teams needed to settle down a little bit. Kansas City needed to settle down quite a bit. But by halftime, I was very confused because the 49ers looked like the better team. And then they went to the locker room and put on their Lions jerseys and came out, and Matt Patricia was coaching them and decided to do the opposite of what was working.
Yeah.
And they stopped running the ball and basically lost the game for themselves.
Right.
And it started right before the half, not saving time, even though you're getting the ball back. You at minute 50, you didn't call any timeouts. You were at the time rundown. And then you decided to start calling some plays and trying to go for it with like 50 seconds left. So that play calling started before half and continued on in the Lions tradition later on in the game. What do you think?
No, I thought it was interesting. Yeah, it was truly a tale of two halves. Obviously, they came out, looked really good. Jimmy G looked really good early on, but then Patrick Mahomes, went Patrick Mahomes and connected on a couple of long bombs to Tyreek Hill. Jimmy Garoppolo, he definitely played a lot better than I thought he would be. But like we said earlier, Patrick Mahomes went full on Patrick Mahomes, and it was pretty much all downhill for the San Francisco 49ers after that.
Yeah, exactly.
So obviously it was a good game. A lot of it was competitive to the end, which is always good to see. It was a lot more entertaining than last year's Super Bowl.
No, for sure. The two teams, different teams on a big stage. It's always nice to see the play, like the different squads playing. Like only so much you can watch of the Patriots. And again, the Rams were shit, and I don't want to see Green Bay in there because fuck Green Bay. Yeah. So no, I was actually pretty happy with the teams that were in there this time around, and it was a good game. I liked it. Yeah. It was a game that you can actually rewatch, and it's interesting how it turns.
Don't you think it's funny that that's like we finally get to see a non-Patriots Super Bowl, and yet Bill Belichick and Tom Brady are there.
I know, right?
Like, oh,
it's funny.
So,
Yeah, well, whatever. At least it could be worse. It could be the Lions in there. No, never gonna
God.
happen.
No. Hey, one year. It's gonna happen.
My great grandchildren, Super Bowl 242.
No.
The Detroit Football Lions.
Super Bowl 112.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be off.
One day it's gonna happen. I know it's
one day.
One day it will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
is that it for sports? That was a lot of sports.
That was a lot of sports. Well, we had a lot to catch up on. So.
Oh, I know. It was crazy.
So, Jake, we got to talk about our media ban that we got.
Oh yeah, here we go. So isn't it nice being banned? You try to help somebody and they fucking block you on Twitter. Who blocks people on Twitter? Okay, so here's the story for those people who haven't been listening too often to our podcast here. The A-to-G podcast came from the roots of the journalism program at St. Clair College, and once in a while, we subscribe to the Mediaplex, which is now the journalism program there, and we subscribe, we follow, we watch. We're their biggest audience. They have nobody else that watches their shows and podcasts. So Darren and I do a service to the community and join them live sometimes when they do their podcasts.
Their weekly radio show.
Whatever. It's a podcast. It's not a radio show. That's Shane Official. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so we join in a friendly banter.
Well, they pretend they're on the radio.
Whatever. You're not Dave and Chuck the Freak. Fuck off.
Yeah.
So we join in the conversation. We watch. We support. We motivate. We send them messages like, hey, we would like to have you on the show. Hey, that was terrible. Hey, you guys can do this better. Hey, that wasn't too bad. We send them messages. We communicate. We observe. We have a good banter back and forth. Right. And someone, whoever does their Twitter account, was offended by what the A-to-G podcast had to say on Twitter and decided to block us. Now, it's not going to stop us from tagging them in shows. Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. That just tells us that they're listening.
Yeah.
And we thank you for listening to the A-to-G podcast, the past and the greatest generation of the journalism program. You're welcome.
That's right.
So what we're trying was, so basically, I don't understand why you're so offended by us having an opinion. 1, 2, offended by us trying to help you, and 3, not taking actual criticism like you should, since you are learning. We did. We came out just fine.
Yeah, I think it's really this generation. They don't want to hear, they just want pats on the backs and attaboys, But you say one thing that is, constructive criticism, as we like to think, they take all offense and they block.
That's right. All controversial now.
This is generation block for kids these days. Obviously we don't like to throw shade at them, but if they were to reply to us and have a nice conversation on what's it like in the journalism program, compared to like what it used to be like, exactly. we can open up some nice dialogue.
Exactly. Have them on our show.
Yeah.
Let's communicate. Let's compare notes. See how it is. How their advantage right now, because they have a beautiful studio. Exactly. We're jealous of that. We're jealous of what they're able to do. Live broadcast. Yes. Beautiful studio. Beautiful radio studio. Beautiful TV studio. We did not have that. We had camera phones.
That's exactly it.
Really old ones.
Big bulky phones. We use digital cameras when digital cameras were like first came out. And they're like $300 or at least
the cheapest one.
Yeah, we always had to get the cheapest one. Now you get a high quality camera on your phone, and away you go. Yeah,
exactly.
They have no idea how good they have it, and everything, and everything is like pretty much given to them on a silver platter.
Exactly.
They don't understand the struggle there.
Right. We're not dissing them at all. We're very confused how to what really has to set you off because we watch your shows. Again, look at your views. There's 2, me and Darren. That's the only people that watch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you should be happy with that. You should be glad somebody's paying attention. Yes, we know you're learning. We watched the last show before you banned us, and as awful as some of that was, because it was, it's so much scripted. Like, we don't have a script right now on our show because we do whatever we want to do. But on your show, if you want to make it a radio show, yes, you can script it, but you can't be reading it. Look at this. This is free advice. Usually you pay your teachers to give you advice for a very expensive price of your tuition. I am giving this free for subscribing to our fucking podcast.
He's giving it away.
I'm giving this shit away. 2-for-1 sale. So that was the first thing.
You haven't scripted. You get
advice.
You get advice.
Oh, man. We're getting drops for next season.
It comes naturally. Obviously, this is what they're graded on. This is what they are evaluated on, from, putting together a radio script to presenting it, to try to make it their own, try to make it creative and fun and entertaining. Obviously, only half of that really comes through because what they think is entertaining to them is not really entertaining to the listener. Hearing about stories about people in Florida don't really resides with people from Windsor, Essex County.
That's true. And inside jokes that you guys are laughing about to yourselves don't connect with your listeners because nobody knows what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Your inside jokes where your lingo, that's irrelevant.
Exactly.
It's not funny.
Exactly.
Look at this. That's another point. That's 3 points that you got for free.
Yeah.
You should get your tuition money back because nobody's telling you that. Because the second show you guys did this year so far was worse than the first one. It was terrible. We were there, but you blocked our ADG account. That's okay. That's okay. We still watch you because you're out everywhere. You can't block us everywhere. I have 7 accounts for all of my businesses, for all the podcasts. We still watch you. And you know my name. You know Darren's name.
Yeah. I think that's what we should do. We should make another account and just follow them. Hopefully they'll follow us back. And then, always keep those lines of communication open.
Oh, we're trying. We're trying. We're out
trying.
There.
I know.
We emailed. We sent a very nice email to people we know. We sent a super nice email to people we don't know. Very nice big paragraph. And if they really want us to read it on this show, we will. We sent comments out. We tagged them. We like their shit. Even though we didn't like their shit, we still like their shit.
Yeah.
We communicated. Nothing back. You know what? For an institution that's supposed to be a higher level, something above everything else in the niche market as in journalism is, I am not satisfied with what's coming out, especially in the way they're dealing with, like you said, constructive criticism.
Exactly. And it's funny, though, is a lot of those instructors, started with us when we went there. So, you would think that they would understand, like, hey, these guys have been out there in the real world and have worked in, different areas of the journalism, the journalism industry, so obviously they know a thing or two. And us, look at us doing this podcast. We've had guests on from New York and Australia, all over the place. And obviously, if we wanted to do a local based podcast, we would. But we think it's bigger than just local. We want to get everyone involved. That's why we have people on from Detroit, people from Michigan and Ohio and Texas send us music to to promote them. It's just a way of getting Windsor out there internationally.
100%.
just not to be known as Canada across from Detroit.
Exactly, and that's what we're trying to do. So it's not malicious. It can be if you really want us to be, but we're not. We watch your show. We can really pick apart your entire 15-minute broadcast. We can do it. Yeah. There's a lot of things that are wrong with it. A lot. I'm not being sarcastic right now or condescending. It is awful, but there's potential. We are here to help you, and you don't have to be bitches and block us. Really, nobody does that unless we do something offensive, which we haven't. We offered help, and you guys blocked us. We will still tag you.
We
you will know that we talk about.
We come from the old school mentality where less is more, and I say that because listening to one of their last radio shows that they did, their sports person or the one that was assigned to do sports overloaded his sports segment with cliches and puns and one-liners all the time. I'm sorry, a pun here and there or a one-liner here and there, that's fine. Break it up, have a little fun with it, but to do it constantly over and over, that's just lack of creative writing. And just stick to sports. You know what the top teams are. Just tell the scores, tell the news that happens in that day. Because in sports, there's something happening every day, every minute, right. Every day. There's always something to talk about. You don't need to ham it up with, cooler than the other side of the pillow, or let's dip and dunk into some basketball.
That's a little much. And you're 100% right. You're giving away valuable lessons here, Darren.
Yeah.
And again, if we're going to do that, sure, we can do that all day. The host that hosts the show can use some, and we're really bad for moving segments along. But come on, it's a little much. It's a little over the top. We understand you don't like sports. You move segment to segment in a smooth manner, direct. Yep. Don't have to go over the top. And I understand you guys are new. You're reading off of your scripts, but don't sound like robots. You see, our conversation flows smoothly. We're not scripted. We can help you with that. There's ways that you can have a natural conversation. That's what radio's for. If you really want to be a radio show, radio is for people on the radio don't want to hear somebody reading off the paper because you can hear it. You can hear someone doing their hourly news update, and you can hear someone doing a talk show. Totally different type of segments. And then you just have to pick what you want to do. Okay? That's a valuable lesson. There you go. I'm done talking about it because it's a waste of time. Thank you for blocking us. And I already paid for your tuition on this entire show. Darren did one half, I did the other half. Like, you already need your $1,200 back for this semester. Done.
There you go. You're already. So let's transition into another topic, Jay.
Hell yeah! What are you doing now?
Speaking of fast, have you seen the new Fast and Furious trailer?
Unfortunately, my dumbass sat through the 2.5 minutes of garbage and watched it. Yes, sir.
Of glorious 2.5 minutes. Oh my God, Fast.
Well, tell me how you really feel about it, Darren.
You know what? You know what, Jake? I kind of hate to admit it, but I kind of want to see it.
Okay, this podcast no longer exists.
Oh, come on. You know you want to see it.
I'm gonna see it in one way or another, but I'm not paying for this bullshit. But go ahead, tell me what you thought of the trailer.
I thought it was good. I thought it had obviously your typical Fast and Furious, and that's exactly what Fast and the Furious fans want. They want the crazy car chases. They want the stuff that would never ever happen in a million years. The completely way out of the box. You can't even see the box concept of, stunts and CGI and pulling down helicopters with trucks. You don't see that every day. And adding John Cena as Dominic Toretto's brother in it.
Look, that's outside of like 3 boxes.
Oh my God! Who the hell came up with that stupid idea? Who the hell saw that coming?
Nobody, because that's the stupidest shit you ever heard. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
I thought it's great. I think John Cena is. He's a less expensive version of The Rock, he's a non-tan version of The Rock, and shorter version of The Rock,
I guess.
So obviously, they want to create this new bromance with Vin Diesel and John Cena to keep this franchise going for another 3 or 4 movies, however long it's going to be for. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Well, you saw it. What did you think of it?
Darren, we're on opposite planets on this.
That's fine. That's fine. That's
no. And it's okay. Podcast. That's right. What a piece of shit. No, and yeah, cool. Explosions, fights. That's all this fucking movie's gonna be. You know how far away they're removed from the first amazing movie?
Yeah. When it's just
okay,
let's just drag them. Okay.
I know, which is awesome. This movie, it looks so terrible. Okay, if one, let's get the worst part over with. You're bringing in a character that in 8 other movies no one even mentioned.
Yeah.
Oh, Vin Diesel has a fucking brother. Oh, where was this shit when they're flying all over the fucking planet exploding shit? And this guy's supposed to be some terrorist that is like top notch, and all of a sudden we just hear about him and it doesn't tie into shit? No. This is what a bunch of shit. And John Cena's his brother. You don't even look alike. Is he adopted? Anyway, just because he has muscles makes him related? Anyway, if this guy's such a big deal, where was he when they needed help? Oh, I'm going to call my badassy little brother. What was his little brother when his family's torn apart? When his house is blown up? Where was all this tie in the other 8 movies? Nowhere. You know why? Because they just thought of this shit last week and they put it in a movie. Now, besides that, cool explosion, cool visual effects, makes 0 sense. They still try to make it sad with the kid and,
named after
Paul Walker's character. Yeah, like... What a way to suck in people trying to just from the other movies to just get that little glimpse of how it ties into everything else. That's the only thing that tie into this movie. What a fucking piece of garbage. But anyway, I'm ready to rate this turd, and you know what? 0.5 out of 5.
Oof.
Half a
wow.
0.5. Fuck this movie.
You know what? I think, Jake, you already set the bar for movie reviews on season 3. Just like my movie review of Bad Boys 3, I think you just shattered it.
I don't think it's going to be anything worse this year than this piece of garbage. But anyway,
okay. All right. No, you have 0.5. Yep. I'm going to do it because, I can say it's ridiculous. I can say it's crazy. I think it's so far-fetched. I think it's just nothing but a cliche action movie.
Yep.
But it's still going to make over $150 million in its opening weekend. It's just how it is. It's just the way it's there. There is a crowd for these kinds of movies.
I hope it bombs.
It's going to bomb terribly, but people are still going to go see it because they either just love Vin Diesel and they love his, badass movies and all the cliche one-liners.
It's not his personality, that's for sure.
Oh God, no, it's not. The guy still made. The guy's a millionaire. The guy's a millionaire for saying "I am Groot." Like Jake, if I can make $1 million saying "I am Groot," I would do it too.
Yeah, he only says it once. They just replay it every time he needs to speak.
They make it slower or faster, higher or lower. Yeah,
lower.
That's pretty much it.
Fuck, you got paid. That's good.
So, hey, I wonder how long that recording session was. Okay, Ben, you ready? Yeah. I am Groot. All right, thank you.
We're done. See ya. Here's $30 million.
That's it. So he does that. Obviously, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to give it a solid 2.5 out of 5.
Oh, wow. You're a very generous person. You inspire me every day, Darren. Thank you very much.
I do my best.
That also says the guy who actually paid to see the movie he blasted last season.
Yeah. That was...
Bad Boys for Life.
Yeah, well, to my credit, it was a cheap night, so it wasn't that bad. So
you give him half your money.
I'll give him half my money. And my buddy bought me snacks, so we're good.
Oh, so he overpaid for snacks. Awesome. Yeah. Like those $7 colas.
Oh no, that's where you sneak it. You go to a bulk bar and you buy some like sour keys and you put them in your jacket pocket and you're good.
Oh shit! Look at this guy's a gangster.
Oh yeah, coming in, it's like 90 degrees out. Coming in with a big Gore-Tex coat. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, that was Fast 9 trailer. Let's get to something that's actually positive.
Okay.
Something different on this show. Let's get into our first music segment of season 3 since we're on a roll.
Yes.
Oh man, what a music segment it's gonna be! I might as well start off this season in a perfect fashion. We have an artist called LLAMAR on our first episode, and LLAMAR is from the UK. Started off as a was a producer producing music. Mm-hmm. And then and a couple of years later, he realized, I'm making beats, so why don't I just start singing on some of these things? So he learned a couple of different beat programs and released some music in 2019. His first single, Sophia, was released, a very popular song in the UK on SoundCloud, like 5,000 plays. On Spotify, it hit like 20,000 plays, which is pretty cool for an independent artist. Congrats. And his new single, which we're going to play on our show right now, is called Don't Leave Me Now. And it's an R&B song. It's an R&B artist. And again, we're variety music on this show. We play everything from all over the world. And this week, Lamar from the UK is giving us some R&B. And I really like this song. I found it in our off season not too long ago. The song officially came out on December 19th. So I've been saving it just for our first premiere show, and we're delivering today, and we're gonna deliver on the music. And right now, you're gonna hear "Don't Leave Me Now" by LLAMAR on the A2G podcast.
Don't leave me now, when I need you more than ever. Give me just one last chance, alright. I'll try to be better. Oh, I lost my world in your eyes. I want your arms around me. I cried alone for you too many nights. I lost my world in your eyes. I want your arms around me. I cried alone for you. Can't you see me here? Don't leave me now. Yeah, 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 yeah. Don't leave me now. Yeah, 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 yeah. I see your face when I turned out the light. I need to know if you love me, girl. I really want to find. Oh, I lost my world in your eyes. I want your arms around me. I cried alone for you too many nights. I lost my world in your eyes. I want your arms around me. I cried alone for you. Can't you see me here? Don't leave me now. Yeah, 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 yeah. Don't leave me now. Yeah, 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 yeah. Girl, I love you, and if you love me, we should be together forever and ever, ever, ever. Girl, I love you, and if you love me, we should be together forever and ever, ever, ever. Don't leave me now. Yeah, 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 yeah. Don't leave me now. Don't leave me now. Yeah, 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 yeah.
There you go. That's LLAMAR. Don't Leave Me Now. An R&B track right here from this UK artist. Like, share, go comment. You heard on the ADG podcast. Again, We're hitting all cylinders this week. That was a jam. And let's move on to our next segment, sir.
Yes. Well, speaking of great music, I have to mention that we should start a brand new season with a brand new top 5. And I took inspiration from this past Sunday Super Bowl halftime show. So
shit!
Yeah, so here are my top 5 Super Bowl halftime shows of all time.
I'm excited. We're gonna fight so bad.
We are gonna. This might be the end of the podcast, as we know.
Great. Let's do it. I love it.
All right. Obviously, we know Super Bowl halftime show, biggest stage in the world. So many eyes, so many people watching this performance that goes down. So number 5. This is my own personal list of top 5, and I'm sure Jake will agree with me, and maybe he won't agree with me. But coming in at number 5 is Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Ooh, not bad. Yes. Not bad.
Yeah, yeah. One of the great rock and roll bands of all time. It definitely shows like the wide range of musical genres that this one performance goes through all the time. So coming at number 5, that's Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Coming in at number 4. Now this one was a interesting one. I have to say number 4 would be the Rolling Stones. This took place in Detroit, Super Bowl 40 back in 2006. Mick and Keith doing their thing, having great songs like "Start Me Up," "I Can't Get No Satisfaction." That's coming at number 4.
Yeah, that was perfect for Detroit.
Yeah, that was one in Detroit.
Good.
Number 3, one of my favorite ones. Great acts. I think one of the most underrated Super Bowl acts of all time. Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band back from 2009 and Super Bowl 43. Awesome.
Forgot about that one.
Yeah, where the most memorable moment where Bruce takes a running start and slides right into the cameraman. That's always great to see. So yeah, he did obviously great set with 10th Avenue Freeze Out, Born to Run, Working on Dream, Glory Days, all the great hits. Because you got to think they got 12 minutes to combine everything into this into this whole set. Coming in at number 2. Number 2 was an interesting one. I was kind of hemming and hawing on which one would make this list at number 2. Coming in at number 2, I thought was really good. Took place in New York. This is back in February 2nd of 2014. Was Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars, I think, was really good. Because he was a versatile musician. He played the drums, played guitar, sing, and then having the Red Hot Chili Peppers come out and join him for a song. Yep. That was just awesome.
That. I love them lip syncing. Yeah, it was good.
Before we get to number 1, I have a couple honorable mentions.
Yeah.
One of them is Lady Gaga.
That wasn't bad. That was not bad.
She was really good.
Yeah, I liked Lady Gaga's performance.
Yeah,
I really did.
She, this girl, she can sing anything.
Yes.
And do anything. Another honorable mention, which I was deeply thinking about making number 1, was Michael Jackson back in the day.
That was a good one. Yes, I remember that one.
I think that one set the bar for a good Super Bowl halftime show, but this one came to my number 1 was the one I think everyone could think of that it was better than anything that I thought it would be.
And I think I know what you're hinting at, and I might love it. I want to be on the same page.
All right. Well, obviously,
you fucking say Beyonce. I'm turning this off.
And I know. The one person, your wife would be proud of this.
That's correct.
It is Prince. Prince is from, I believe, I can't remember the year. It was Piss Pouring Rain, and Prince
halftime show.
Purple Rain himself just
That's right.
smashed it out of the place. You can't ask for a better halftime performance than that.
Exactly.
He did everything. That is a true performer, playing guitar, doing everything, all of his big hits that you could think of, all that in 12 or 13 minutes, whatever they have. was unbelievable. Obviously, Prince, no longer with us, but like I still watch that performance from time to time because it was just that good. For him to do songs from Foo Fighters and Jimi Hendrix, and do his own stuff was just amazing from what I saw. And those are the best ones. Like we didn't talk about the worst ones because there's been a bunch. There
are many, and I've already mentioned one. Beyonce,
Katy Perry, Justin Timberlake was garbage. Black Eyed Peas.
Who?
Exactly.
Right.
Black Eyed Peas and the one that was last year, Maroon 5.
Maroon 5 wasn't great.
Yeah. Absolutely horseshit.
And you mentioned Prince because I went to Minnesota last year, last year before, whatever, and it was amazing. And went through his entire state, saw the concerts, and everything else, loved it. And you're right, that was the best Super Bowl halftime performance ever. Went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame a couple years ago, had his performances in there too. Again, great artist. I agree with you 110%. That was a great top 5. Again, like you guys see, we're rolling today. This is on all cylinders.
Exactly, because you have those acts that have like so many different artists all on one stage, and it's just confusing because you just have so many people you forget, oh, was that person there?
Right.
It's unbelievable. But Prince was back in 2007. This was in Miami Dolphin Stadium. It was obviously he did We Will Rock You, Let's Go Crazy, Baby I'm a Star, Proud Mary, all along the Watchtower, Best of You, and Purple Rain. It was just perfect from start to finish.
Exactly.
So what we talk about, like, is, you know what, it wasn't that bad of a halftime show this year. The Shakira and Jennifer Lopez
awful.
Wasn't awful. It wasn't great.
You can't say no. It wasn't amazing or anything. It was okay. Them dancing and doing their thing was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah,
not bad. They were, they were singing some of it, not everything, obviously.
No, obviously.
Because they lip synced the shit out of it, but whatever. Yeah. They did their thing. They represented. I'm not mad about it.
No, obviously we understand they were going for a Latin vibe, it being in Miami and a very high Latino community there. Obviously, you get two people that are very popular in the Latino culture.
Right.
And me personally, I thought Shakira was better than Jennifer Lopez, but
I agree.
That's all. Yep. That's all hearsay. Whoever.
Yeah, and I thought Pitbull would come out. That would make sense to me.
I thought so too.
And out of all the things, I don't know if you saw my tweet that came out during the halftime show. I was like, okay, I see. I'm like, all we're missing is Will Smith. Because, he was going to Miami. And I'm like, that would make sense to me. But whatever. If we're going to sing songs from the 90s, I would expect that's what happened.
I know. For a minute there, I thought I still had all these songs on Napster. My Love Don't Cost
Exactly. So I'm like, shit, where's Will Smith in his Bentley? Let's roll him out. He's going to Miami. Fuck, I don't know if that's what we're going to do. But anyway, that's our take on that was a great top 5.
Yeah.
Now, do you have this moment in history for us?
Yes, this day in history. A couple things that happened in this day in history. February 4th, the week of February 4th. Interesting that there's a couple things because tonight, where we are recording this podcast, is the American State of the Union address.
Hell yeah!
I know. So Jake is gonna be tuned into that.
Yep, live and
lies, all that. So obviously, this day was interesting. February 4th, back in 1789, George Washington was elected the first president of the United States.
Awesome. That's a
stat. So there you go. So and he was not impeached. So there you go. Another fun fact from this day back in February 4th, 1948, Sri Lanka was proclaimed its independence from the British Commonwealth. So Sri Lanka became Sri Lanka. That's nice. And
you my fucking map. I forgot.
Yeah, where's Sri Lanka on the map?
I gotta find it. It's tiny. It's tiny.
It's very tiny. And then this was a big day. I think that changed our lives forever, Jake. Back in 2004, on February 4th, Facebook is founded.
Yes.
So the social network service currently has over 1 billion active users.
Disappointing us every day.
Exactly. And not only like you think Facebook and how it's spun off from like Instagram and all these little other companies, exploded from Facebook. Facebook bought Instagram, and then they bought Twitter and all these other things.
They own our social lives. That's what they do. They own it.
It is. It's like anything viral or trending. You got to think to Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. It's like every week there's like a new online thing that people have to do to stay with it and hip and cool and relevant. Yeah. A couple of interesting birthdays that were on February 4th. Alice Cooper was born today. I like this. Alice Cooper and Rosa Parks were born on the same day.
Awesome.
How about that?
There we go.
So there you go. So, yeah. So, and an interesting that Liberace was passed away on this day. So, the good with the bad. Yeah.
There we go.
So there you go.
There you go. That's some info for
some nice little fun facts for you to share.
Fun facts.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I think we got our last segment for this week's show.
Favorite segment of the show.
And I keep saying it. This show is rolling today, and we're gonna finish off with a bang. Okay. So this week's garbage person of the week is from. Since this is our first show, I had a lot of time to gather information, and
he had a lot of garbage to crawl through.
True, and I had to pick through which I wanted to display for us this week. And this is from a few weeks back. And on the weekend, I think it was a weekend. It was a Friday night. Took the family, the wife, kids. Decided to do a quick grocery stop on the way somewhere we were going. I don't know where we were going. So I'm like, all right, we'll go jump at the Sobeys, which is a local grocery store chain here in Windsor in Essex County, Ontario. So I'm like, we'll stop in, grab a quick couple groceries, and take off. So I park, and I have a big truck, and parking it in a crowded parking lot isn't fun. It's a giant F-150 extended cab, whatever, barely fits in a spot. Mm-hmm. So I park where there is 2 spots open on each side because I don't like anybody parking next to me for many reasons. One, I don't like anybody parking next to me because I don't want to ding my car because people are stupid. 2, I don't like parking frontwards with my truck because surprisingly I park better backwards. But anyway, I pulled in the spot between the lines, no issues, whatever. I jump out of the truck and I see another car pull up on the passenger side right next to my truck. So the wife gets out, closes her door, and then goes to the back seat and tries to grab my oldest out of the back. Yeah, my kids are giants, but they still need help getting out of the truck. But the asshole that pulled in next to us decided to get out of his car while the kids were coming out of their side. So naturally, it pisses me the fuck off. Because I jump out of the car, get my little guy off from my side, and all I see on the opposite side is my wife struggling to get the kid out of the car, while this asshole opens his door, stands up, and is looking around like a fucking douchebag, like, oh, I'm out too. And everybody's in everybody's way. What a piece of shit. So I call him that from across my car while I'm outside. Like, what the fuck? Look at this piece of shit. What the fuck are you doing? And my kids know that I swear. They know not to pay attention to that. They're used to it. They don't repeat it. Not a big deal. They know what it means. And they're okay with it. So I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? The guy says nothing. He's a piece of shit standing there watching as my kids get out of the car like we're in his fucking way. Okay? So as I'm walking around the car, I realize, yeah, I'm really loud and annoying. I don't give a fuck. My kids and family are more important than this piece of garbage. So I stare him down. He still says nothing. This inconsiderate piece of garbage takes his family out of the car and goes fucking grocery shopping without a fucking peep. And I made him follow me around like a piece of garbage. That is not nice. When somebody pulls in, you don't have the decency to look out your fucking window of your little car to see if who's getting out and have a minute of fucking patience for people to get out of their car, get their kids out. Don't go to the fucking grocery store. Just don't. It's irritating, it's inconsiderate, and you're a piece of garbage. And I know it's somebody local. I really do. But let me tell you, don't let me see you when I'm by myself, because that was me being nice. Yeah. Even though I called you out and you didn't say shit. You had no response to what I was telling you. And you were lucky the kids were there, the wife was there, to calm me the fuck down. It's not considerate. What if you hit them with your door? Okay? That's worst case scenario, and then nobody would stop me. What if you hit my car? Same thing would have happened. I would hit you. It's just how it is. And I don't threaten the violence on people. But when you put others, yourself before everybody else, because you seem to be more important than other people's family, I don't take that lightly. And therefore making you the garbage person of the week this week. Thank you very much.
There you go. Well said, Jake. Well said.
All right. Do what I can.
That's it.
Well, yeah, we are rolling. So, if you guys like this show, if you didn't like it, whatever. If you're the Mediaplex, you do what you can with it. Find us everywhere on social media at ADG Podcast. If you have your concerns, comments, or want to tell us off, if you're the Mediaplex, adgpodcast@gmail.com. We don't have a block filter on anybody, so we accept all emails. Twitter, Instagram. Find us on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, anywhere you guys stream your podcast. You will find us. Give us a shout out. Listen to the music we played. And if you liked the music we played on today's show, check out our Spotify playlist on our ADG Podcast account, because it has all the artists that are on Spotify in a separate playlist for the ADG Podcast. So if you ever heard a song that you want to hear again, boom, ADG Spotify playlist. All the artists we featured on the show available now.
Perfect.
Yeah, there you go. There is our episode 1 of season 3.
Episode 1 in the books. Love it.
And it was magical.
It's always
if I say so.
It was a great time.
Good time there.
Good stuff. All right. Well, that will do it for episode 1 of season 3 of the ADG Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. We hope to hear from you this week. And tune in next week. We have more ADG Podcast content for you. But until next time, I'm Darren.
And I'm Jacob.
And we are ADG.